What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, Bitcoin setting at 67,500 after wicking down last night and having investors and traders wondering, is Bitcoin going to go lower, or are we going to break all-time highs? We also have Tesla gapping up today after the earnings, uh, as they beat the expectations, and Musk predicts at least 20% vehicle growth in the next year. So today we'll discuss what's going on with the markets, including stocks and crypto, and then we will get into what's going on with these altcoins later in the show. But first off, I wanted to start out with this chart right here. MSTR making a new all-time high today, currently sitting at 223. So MicroStrategy has been looking very strong here in the recent weeks. And we also have the markets just selling off a little bit here the past couple days, but still moving higher overall. Overall, we are in an uptrend, and we did suspect that the markets may come back down here just a little bit to retest some of these areas before moving higher over the coming days. But the markets are looking very strong heading into November. Of course, we got the elections coming up, and don't like to necessarily talk politics here, but nevertheless, the markets are liking what they are seeing. The Qs continue to grind higher as well. But why are we seeing a little pullback right now? Well, I think the big thing here is we have the US 10-year yields have really been rising here. They were falling whenever we were looking to get those rate cuts, and then we got to rate cut, and the yield is going up. So that's causing a little bit of concern here in the markets, I think, on the short term. But I don't think this is long lived. Still looks like this is probably going to be a lower high as yields come down. We know that the Fed is anticipated to cut rate another 25 basis points coming up. So that's coming. It looks like we may have two more cuts this year of 25 and 25. The dollar is also been on a rip here the last couple of weeks. We thought that the dollar was going to break down here, and it had been in a downtrend. We thought we may break below that $100 level for the Dixie, but it has ripped back up here and come back up to our box where we previously uh, acted as support and had turned into resistance. So will the dollar reject here? It looks like it may, but we'll have to wait and see. We know once that dollar starts breaking down that risk assets, including stocks, will continue to go up most likely. So that is something to keep an eye on. And another thing I wanted to point out here is the M2 money supply. That has been increasing here uh, for the past couple of years now and is steadily climbing higher. And another chart that points out what happens when the global liquidity breaks out. This is the M2 Global Liquidity Index, and we saw that break out in July, and it has been climbing even higher since. The previous chart I showed you only went until September, um, but we do know that it's closely related to the price of these assets. And Ash Crypto posted this here over on X, says global M2 money supply is now above 94 trillion. Soon Bitcoin will follow. So that it, that is what we are seeing. I do believe we did have the breakout, but nevertheless, I think we are just coming back down to retest that downward sloping trend line. I mentioned in my videos that I thought we may go down to possibly 65,000. Um, and we touched that area perfectly. Could we go down lower? It is a possibility. It does look like Bitcoin does want to move higher here, so it looks like we may just come in for a retest of this downward sloping trend line before moving higher, or we may see one more pullback. But I still think this 63 to $64,000 area will act as a strong level of support. And we could get a bounce there, or we could just bounce from here and uh, potentially be breaking all-time highs here in the coming days and weeks. Um, but we will have to see. Like I said, I do think there is a possibility of one more pullback possibly here in the next week. Then as we go into November, I do think things will really start to take off. And if we just look at this on the weekly chart, uh, this is the bull flag that everyone has been talking about, the major cup and handle pattern, where we flip this area here that previously was acting as resistance into support. So you can see there we have anywhere from around that 60 to $64,000 range. There is a lot of support in that area, so I definitely don't think we will see Bitcoin back down below those areas. A couple stocks I wanted to mention is the Bitcoin miners because um, altcoins are starting to move, and these Bitcoin miners act very similar to some of these altcoins when they get moving. So for these, I uh, only would consider maybe short-term investing or mid-term investing or swing trading, day trading these type of stocks. I wouldn't consider them necessarily a long-term investment, but this is Mara, and as I mentioned, we had this little inverse head and shoulders pattern here. I mentioned if that broke out, well, we could see Mara up around 22 to $25. It has broken out, come back down to retest that area, so I am looking for Mara to move higher here uh, in the coming days and weeks. And another one is BitDeer Technologies, ticker symbol BTDR, setting at 789. And also looks like it's putting in a little inverse head and shoulders pattern here. But first we got to get through this area. And I do have a take profit zone of around $11 to $12 for BitDeer in the coming weeks. So we will keep an eye on that. So I did want to mention that. I do think that the stocks go much higher here in the next couple of weeks to couple of months. Then we'll have to watch and see what happens as we go into 2025. I still think 2025 will be good for the markets, but we may see a pullback possibly during January. Is typically kind of slow for markets, or possibly later in the year. If you're interested in buying stocks, commodities, or crypto, you can do so with Robinhood. Right now, Robinhood is offering for 12 days 3 different offers, and there is no limit on what you can earn. You can get 3% on IRA transfers, 2% transfers with a minimum of $10,000 margin balance, and 1% on brokerage transfers. So they have some pretty great deals right now, and they allow you to begin investing and building your portfolio with just as little as $1. Again, they allow you to buy stocks, options, ETFs, and trade commission free. Plus, they offer crypto such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and many more, as well as gold. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. All right, guys, let's move into the altcoins, because obviously the thumbnail on this video was geared towards Solana. Uh, and I am an investor and trader. So I really started out in stocks, but I've been getting into crypto here more so recently, and I wanted to cover some of these breakout areas as soon as I see them, just to give everyone the best possible opportunity to get in on these things as I see them. So that's why I am creating these videos to give you guys more value. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. But this is others, and as we mentioned, we were in this downward sloping parallel channel and we broke out. We mentioned we thought we may come back down to retest that area. Just kind of ranging sideways here right now, but nevertheless, we are starting to put in a series of higher highs and higher lows. And then I found this posted over on X by Cryptos Are Us. It says, look at this extremely bullish SOL chart. Uh, and so this chart was actually put out by Titan of Crypto, and it's showing that we have a target price of $1,400 on Solana when it breaks out. So that could be coming up soon. And right now, Solana is sitting at 176. Breaking out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, similar to what we saw on the crypto miners, indicating that we are headed towards that $200 range here very soon. So Solana has been looking strong. Ethereum has not been looking as strong. We thought we were going to get a breakout here on Ethereum. We fell back within this range, sitting at 25.20 currently. But I do think Ethereum may wake up here very soon. We're starting to see some of the layer twos really take off, and one of those is SUI sitting at $1.96. This thing has been a ripper here ever since it got started back in September, really taking off. Um, we can just do a quick measurement on that move real quick here from here up to the peak was over 200% in just a couple of months. So this layer 2 is looking very strong. It looks like it may be finding support here in this area. I'd like to see a couple more days of consolidation here, but then I do think SUI moves much higher. And that is a layer 2 on Solana. Like I mentioned, Solana has been very strong here. It seems to be leading the way right now. And another layer 2 is Uniswap, which is on Ethereum. Uniswap, as well as Ethereum, just hasn't been that strong. Here recently over the past several months. Nevertheless, in the past couple of weeks, it's really starting to kind of take off here. So these moves may not look quite as big. Of course, they're not as big as what was on SUI, but nevertheless, these are still some pretty substantial moves here. Uh, so some of these layer twos and coins related to Solana have been really moving, and I do think Ethereum is getting ready to move very soon. So I do suspect that Uniswap will do very well here in the coming days and weeks. We've also seen some of the meme coins on Solana and Ethereum do very well here recently as well. If you're interested in buying Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Sushi, and many more, you can do so with iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital allows you to buy, sell, and trade crypto, gold, and silver 24/7 in a tax advantage IRA. They also have low cost and no monthly fee, and they have over 5,000 plus 5-star reviews on Google. And they've got several altcoins. They've recently added a few more here recently. I made a video a couple months ago whenever They mentioned that they were going to add some altcoins. They were adding things such as a couple of the memes, dog with hat, bonk. They added Arbitrum as well as SUI just got added recently as well. And so they've been updating their platform, and so now we're starting to see some of these uh, better performing uh, coins on iTrust Capital, where they allow you to invest in those in an IRA. What I like about iTrust Capital is they allow you to roll over a portion or all of your 401k or IRA with iTrust to gain exposure to the crypto markets in a tax advantage account. Plus, they actually have people that you can call and talk to when setting up your account. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. All right, guys. Don't forget to go follow me over on X at Mind of Financier. I am Mind of the Financier on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But I post anything that I see that has to do with the markets, including stocks, commodities, and crypto. So be sure to go follow me over there as well. Um, I can post things over there more quickly than making these videos. So be sure to check that out. All right, guys, it's Thursday, almost the end of the week. There's definitely some bullish vibes in the air for Bitcoin and crypto, as well as the stock market. We've been seeing Nvidia rip higher. Obviously, Tesla has done well. And I did actually want to go back and just mention a couple things here on Tesla as well. Since it is much higher, gapping up this morning. We had this island reversal. We thought we were going to potentially gap up off those earnings results and get this gap fill, but we gapped up right past that. So it looks like Tesla could be going for that 260 range again. There is the possibility that it does pull back, but I do think that Tesla is starting to look more bullish. It really underperformed earlier this year and is starting to shape up, looking more bullish. I do think that we potentially are going higher for Tesla. There's some gap fills higher up, but I did want to just zoom out on this chart. I definitely wanted to mention this because this was something to keep an eye on. A little bit of a messy chart right here, but nevertheless, uh, we are forming this wedge that we spoke about in some previous videos. We mentioned if we broke out, that may act as support and the springboard to move higher on Tesla. And so if we really zoom out here, of course, this is still the daily chart. You could flip this to the monthly or the weekly. But if you take this move uh, from the bottom down here back in 2019 to the peak in 2021, and then you place that here on this breakout or even down here, say it, you can see that indicates a much higher price for Tesla. I'm not saying that Tesla is going this high, that's out in 2026, possibly 2027. But nevertheless, we do know these chart patterns tend to repeat. And so this leg up on this pattern here does indicate that Tesla should move much higher. So I did want to point that out. I forgot to point that out earlier. But nevertheless, guys, have a great Thursday. Until next time, take care, be legendary, and peace out.